Salut, I'm Sumo from FrenchArena. Do you know how to say no 20 different ways? Let's talk about it. On commence. Now, saying no in French is as simple as saying no, right? No. In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you 20 different ways in which you can say no in French. If this is your first time here, please do not forget to subscribe. And whilst you're watching this video, if you happen to like it, please give it a thumbs up and share with anyone who might be interested in different ways of saying no in the French language. Now, we already talked about 20 different ways of saying yes in French. You can click this video above to watch that. Now, in today's lesson, I want you to remember that there are different ways of saying no in French, but the most classic way that most people know is no. 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 All right? Let's take a look at number one. Number one is je ne suis pas d'accord. Je ne suis pas d'accord. And this means I do not agree. So instead of saying no and say, oh no, I don't want that. If someone were to ask you, do you agree with this? Instead of saying no, you can say je ne suis pas d'accord. Je ne suis pas d'accord. Number two is pas du tout. Pas du tout. So, for example, if someone were to ask you, aimez-vous ce sac? Pas du tout. Aimez-vous ce sac? Pas du tout. However, in English, I realize that it's sometimes said in a positive tone. So, for instance, I could ask someone, do you mind if we moved our coffee dates to 2 p.m. or 3 p.m.? And the person will respond, no, not at all. But in French, it's a negative way. Pas du tout. Number three, pas vraiment. Pas vraiment. So, for instance, I could ask someone, or someone would ask me, aimez-vous ce film? Aimez-vous ce film? And I would say, pas vraiment. Pas vraiment. Number four, pas encore. Pas encore. Pas encore. So you see there's a liaison. You wouldn't say pas encore, it's pas encore. And so, someone may ask me, avez-vous été en France? Avez-vous été en France? And I would say, non, pas encore. Non, pas encore. Number five, pas maintenant. Pas maintenant. Pas maintenant. So for instance, someone could ask, pouvez-vous me conduire au magasin? And the other person could respond, je suis occupé, pas maintenant. Okay. Number six, pas tout à fait. Pas tout à fait. So for example, I could say, puis-je visiter le dentiste n'importe quel jour? And the other person will respond, pas tout à fait, vous devez prendre rendez-vous. Number seven, aucune chance. Aucune chance. For example, maybe a child could ask her mother, puis-je dormir chez Anne? And the mom would say, non, aucune chance. Puis-je dormir chez Anne? Aucune chance. Number eight, bien sûr que non. Bien sûr que non. So for example, tu le laisses sécher à l'école? Bien sûr que non. Tu le laisses sécher à l'école? Bien sûr que non. Number nine, hors de question. Hors de question. And this is a really, really strong way of saying no. So it's out of the question, no. For instance, I could ask my mom, Maman, est-ce que je peux inviter 4 amis à la maison? And she would say, hors de question. Hors de question. Number 10, mais non. Mais non. Number 11, des clous. Des clous. So if you want to disagree quickly with someone, you immediately just use des clous. Des clous. So I could ask, aimez-vous sa coupe de cheveux? And the other person would say, des clous. Des clous. Aimez-vous sa coupe de cheveux? Des clous. If you're liking the video so far and you've been able to learn different ways of saying no in French, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's continue. The next one, moi non. Moi non. So perhaps if someone were to ask you if you'd be interested in something or were to accuse you of something you didn't do, you can say moi non. Moi non. Number 13, jamais. Jamais, it's never, so you can use never in a sentence. Or if you want to say probably never in a lifetime, jamais de la vie. Jamais de la vie. So for example, je ne vais jamais à l'école, and the response, plus jamais. Je ne vais jamais à l'école, plus jamais. Number 14, ça ne marche pas. Ça ne marche pas. So for example, you could ask someone, et qu'on peut aller au cinéma à 10 heures? And the person could respond, non, ça ne marche pas pour moi, because 10 a.m. is early. Number 15, je crois que non. Je crois que non. So you use this form of no in French when you're not 100% sure of your response. So for example, someone could ask you, a-t-elle une voiture? A-t-elle une voiture? And you respond, je crois que non. Je crois que non, because you're not sure. Number 16, vous avez tort. Vous avez tort. So this means you are wrong, and it comes from the verb avoir tort, to be wrong. You can use it in this context. So for instance, someone says, la France est en Asie. La France est en Asie. And you could respond, non, vous avez tort. La France est en Europe. Do you get it? So that's how you tell the person, no, you are wrong. France is in Europe. Number 17, certainement pas. Certainement pas, which means certainly not or definitely not. You're very, very sure. It's a strong no. Certainement pas. For instance, my son could ask me, puis-je avoir de la glace au petit déjeuner? And I would respond, certainement pas. Certainement pas. No, you cannot. Number 18, absolument pas. Absolument pas. For example, one could ask, peut-on manger de la pizza pour le dîner? And the response could be, absolument pas. Absolument pas. So, number 19, aucun problème. Aucun problème, which is a way of saying like no problem or it's not a problem. So, aucun problème. For example, someone could say, merci d'avoir récupéré les enfants à l'école. And you could respond, aucun problème. Aucun problème. And the final one, non plus. Non plus. So that's it for today's lesson. Were you interested in the 20 different ways in which you can say no in French? So you can use this to spice up your conversation and not always just say no, no, no. Why don't you leave me a comment in the comment section below telling me of other ways in which you can say no in the French language. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share with anyone else who would like to learn alternative ways of saying no in French. Till I see you in this lesson, bonne journée!